What's up, YouTube? Knight's Edge here again. Got another pretty cool little review for you today. But pretty cool knife, man. This one was sent to me by none other than Fred the Lug, and this is going to be the monthly members giveaway. Somebody might have already won this one, actually, by the time I post this video of it. Congratulations to whoever won, and thanks everybody for being a channel member, Patreon subscribers. You guys are awesome. Hit the like button if you like the content. Subscribe right down there if you want more of it. Without further ado, let's get into the knife. This is the Bestech Explorer. Pretty neat little knife, man. I would call it like a budget knife. These run about 63 bucks right now. I'm looking at it on BladeHQ. So pretty good deal for what you're getting, I think. Pretty awesome little knife. We'll go ahead and do like a specs on it and our normal thing here. So from the tip of the blade into the handle, you're looking at just a hair over 7 inches. Blade length 3 1/8 if you go all the way up to where it meets up with the handle scale there in that choil kind of area. And cutting edge on that, measured like that, you're looking at 2 3/4. And if you measure like the primary and secondary edge, you are looking at, well, we got 3/4 of an inch on the secondary, that's what I call it anyway, and 2 3/8, a little over 2 3/8 on the primary there. So depends on how you measure it, especially with like a Tonto. Kind of really got 2 edges, especially if if you're sharpening it. Whenever you sharpen a Tonto, you should sharpen this and this as if it was 2 different edges. Let's go ahead and get the calibers out here if I can find them. There we go. Turn them on, zero them out. Let's see, thickest part of the spine, you are looking at 144 thousandths on the thickest part of the spine, and on your, what I would say is a primary edge, you are looking at 23 thousandths on the edge. And this is probably going to be thicker, I would think, on the secondary, around 40 thousandths. So a little bit thicker on that Tonto tip right there. Kind of helps with the strength of the tip. Giggity. 538 thousandths handle thickness. Kind of a chunky little handle. Feels pretty good in hand. Alright, so with the calibers, put those up. Let's go ahead and do some size comparisons. There's your Cold Steel Knives 8010 and Demco Knives 8020.5. That's a slicer variant of the 8020.5 there. Alright, let's do the Rat. Got the Rat Brothers here. Ontario Knives Rat Model 1 and your Ontario Knives Rat Model 2. Alright, so kind of close to the Rat 2. Actually, the Rat 2 is just maybe a hair longer in overall length, but of course nowhere near as kind of broad and bulky as the Explorer. And last of the usual suspects, size comparison wise, we've got the Spyderco Paramilitary 2 and your Spyderco Para 3. Alright, give you a good idea of the width of it. That is a set of Flytanium Lotus Flytanium scales on the Paramilitary 2 there. So not stock thickness, Paramilitary 2 thickness anyway. And last but not least, go ahead and get out the old faithful, gotta do it, DeWalt framing hammer. And of course your 8-inch USA made crescent wrench. Alright, gotta have that. I mean, this this is a knife channel, for God's sake. Gotta have that framing hammer and that crescent wrench up in there, right? Alright, so get out the scale here, do a weight on this bad boy. I don't know, I'm gonna guess around 3.5 ounces. I think that's a safe guess. I'm probably way off on that. 4.6. Man, I don't know if I can get it to where you can actually see the scale in there. Would probably help. 4.5, 4.6. So definitely a chunky little guy. Not what I would consider like an extra heavy knife or anything, but over the ounce and inch ratio that some people love to talk about. Pocket clip works pretty good. It's a deep carry clip in pocket. Still got a little bit sticking out right there, but I've had no issues with a pocket clip. It is pretty secure in there. That's what you're looking at. Sticking up. The screws are not recessed. That would be pretty cool if they were like flat-headed, countersunk, you know, kind of recessed in there. That would be good. But other than that, no really issues to talk about with the pocket clip. Works just fine. Let's go ahead and we'll get out hardware checking device here. So T8. Alright, so I'm thinking, yeah, T8. So you got T8 on the pivot. I'm thinking T6 the rest of the way around. Wish they would do T8 all the way around, but it does have a single-sided captive pivot on it. Yeah, it's T6. So T6 on the body screws, T6 on the pocket clip, T8 on the pivot. It is single-sided. That Bestech logo on there. So just use plenty of pressure if you disassemble this knife. And good quality bits. Try not to strip them out. T6s are fairly easy to strip out. Got a nice little red kind of back spacer there. Kind of accents. Just I was making sure there was no special numbering or anything like that in there, which there's not. Skeletonized, obviously, that kind of helps with the weight reduction. But you are looking at steel liners, I believe. Let me get the magnet out. Yeah, steel liners on that. And of course, steel pocket clip, G10 backspacer. Backspacer contrasts really nice, I think, with that black. And you got kind of a two-tone finish on the blade, right? So you got like a satin on this. It's like a fingerprint magnet. Oh man, get my finger oils off of the blade there. But you got kind of a satin down here, and on the top you got kind of a black wash finish. It looks like on the flat. A little bit of billboard, not too much. Bestech Knives right there, and then on the back side you've got D2 as the steel. Kind of on the higher end of the price range for D2, but still, I think it's not too bad at all. I mean, sitting at 63 bucks, and D2 is not a terrible steel, really. So, the thing that I love about this one the most is its ergos, man. This thing is solid in hand, kind of a little chunk, really. Got a little bit of jimping right there, but that's mainly it as far as the jimping goes. Couple of little jumps right here on that flipper tab, and that is a pretty unique looking flipper tab, right? I think it is anyway. It works really good, surprisingly well, actually. Got a little bit of denim from the blue jeans there left on my finger, but yeah, that works pretty solid. I think it fires out really good. Reverse flick on this bad boy works really good, as I fail to reverse flick it. If you're trying to show how well something works when you're doing a YouTube video, the best thing to do is to talk about how well it works, and then of course you'll fail it as you're talking about it. That's what usually happens to me anyway. Pretty unique looking blade shape, kind of a it's a tanto, right? It's got two edges there. Kind of a nice grind going down there, but kind of like a swoop up on the spine. That's pretty neat. Kind of like a ovalisk eye looking, kind of a horizontal eye of Sauron looking opening hole, which works pretty good. Works just fine. No issues there. Really pretty smooth. Shake it shut. It's running on bearings, of course. That action is just fine. Centering on that bad boy came to me pretty centered. Really nice knife. And I think especially for the money, I would probably go for this one over a couple of the more popular budget brands. You know, the more popular budget knives, and their own Bestech's, you know, a popular budget brand. But I think it's a solid knife. The G10 is really smooth. So I usually don't like speed holes, you know, as people call them, but these actually don't bother me at all. There's no issue. I've had no issues with them at all. Kind of adds to the cool looking funkiness of the knife, and that chunkiness in that handle really, you're locked in. You can choke up just fine right here. I'm pretty locked in solid as far as ergonomics go on this thing. I really like it. I really dig it. I would definitely be happy to keep this one, and have held on to it for a good little bit, but decided to use it for a members giveaway. And I really appreciate Fred the Lug for sending this one, and I appreciate you guys for watching. Hope everybody enjoyed the video, and whoever wins it, hope you enjoy the knife. And thank you very much again, Fred the Lug. Thank you, knife family. Appreciate you guys watching, and until next time, y'all stay sharp.